We have 3 Vectra Multistations around the city. There's one at the Wellness Center, there's one at the Eugene Police Department, and the one shown here is at the newly remodeled wastewater treatment facility. Demonstrating all the different exercises is Sharon Olson, who works at the wastewater treatment plant. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, first we're going to go over the leg press, arm curl, and seated tricep extension. This is all one station, which is pretty cool. This bench slides up and back, and there's a lower lever that has a yellow tip on it. So all the things on this machine that have a yellow tip means it adjusts something. So push it straight down, slide the bench all the way back, sit comfortably in the seat. It's got a great lumbar support, so when you press out, it keeps your lumbar in a nice curve. Place your feet on the plate. Make sure your feet are about shoulder width apart, and the back of your knees are about 90-degree bent. So that's the ideal spot. You can go a little bit closer, you can go a little farther away, whatever you want to do. When you're using this, make sure you're not snapping your knees out straight. So just push them out comfortably, and you don't need to snap your knees straight. So that's the leg press, works the quads. Second thing you can do is a calf raise or a calf extension. So there's a little slant part of the board on the bottom, so get your feet on those, and so you can get a great stretch if you just want a great stretch to your calf, or you can actually use this for a calf extension machine. And there's a standing calf raise you can also use on the squat bar. So for the arm curl station, you're going to pull the bench all the way forward, grab the pads, rotate them up until they lock. You'll step over the bench and grasp onto the handles, pull your arms back until your elbows are nicely fitted in the middle of the pad, and then keep your arms nice and straight when you start. And then you're going to just do an arm curl, so you're going to bring your hands up towards your face, and there's a pad in the middle, so make sure you don't smash your face with that. And so it's a great way to do arm curls, and you want to make sure you go down to full extension, just so you don't shorten the head of the bicep at all by doing a shortened movement. So very comfortable to do, very easy to do. There's a strap that you can hook on that. You can take all these this handle off, and you can hook a strap on if you don't want to do a one arm curl at a time. And so next Sharon's going to do the tricep extension. And so what she's going to do is grab onto the bottom of the bench and take some weight off of it, and then the upper lever you're going to push away, or actually pull toward you, and then that allows the bench to go down to the vertical position. So you don't want to let that drop because it's metal hitting metal very loud. Push the lever to slide the bench back, and then you put your back against the pad. Very comfortable way to do your triceps. You're going to grasp onto the handle, push your hands straight towards the ceiling. Try to keep your elbows as close to your ears as possible, which makes for a better isolation of the triceps, and try not to let your elbows flare out at all. And so just showing great form here, and lower arm is moving, that's all. So you're flexing and extending at the elbow joint. Next, we're going to move on to the leg extension, leg curl, and seated row machine, which this is a separate weight stack all by itself. So for the leg extension, which works the quads, you're going to sit on the bench. You want to make sure that you at least have 2 fingers depth or width behind your knees and to where it hits the bench, because otherwise it can cut off the circulation to your legs. Grab the upright bench, pull it to your back so you're nice and comfortable. You can let your arms hang down, or you can grasp onto the handles, whatever you choose. And then you're going to extend your legs straight out till they're fully extended. So this is the quads on the top of the thigh. You can do this with both legs at a time, or if you choose, you can do it one leg at a time. It works great either way. So barely come down, let the weights touch, and then go through the extension. To go for the leg curl, you're going to move the upper bench back, and again, there's a yellow tip handle. You're going to pull, you're going to release it. There's a bar that comes up and locks in place in the vertical position. You're going to step in with one leg, keep your thigh against the pads, try to be as tall as possible with your body, and then just curl your heel up towards your bottom and try to go through the greatest range of motion as possible. Make sure you keep your toe up as you come down, or otherwise you're going to jam your toe into the carpet. And then you just switch to the other side, to the other leg. And you're going to find out one leg is probably a little bit stronger than the other, and that you can fix that. Then release the handle, let the bench go down all the way to its hook position or almost flat position. Straddle the bench so your chest is facing the back pad, pull it up to you as far as it will go, and then reach out and grasp the handle for the seated row. Very comfortable way to do this, very safe for your low back. You have a vertical grip as well as a horizontal grip, so either way works great. And so it works the upper middle part of your back, called the rhomboids. And so when you pull this, you want to pull as far back as you can, bringing your elbows behind your back as far as you can. So nice slow movement on this exercise. That's called the seated row. Okay, next to the chest press, the squat And the calf raise, I'm not going to show the calf raise here, I showed it in the intro part. Starting off with the presses, and so the bench will adjust from a decline bench to a flat bench to an incline to a vertical. So Sharon's starting off with a flat bench, which is the most traditional way to do a chest press. And so you want to make sure the bench is in the middle of the bars, and then you can leave your feet on the floor, you can put them up on the bench, whatever's most comfortable. There's a little black handle on the right hand side of the handle that you compress and you lower the bar down. So basically you want to think of that as a straight bar going all the way through, so you'd want that about mid-chest height. And then you're just going to press straight up. And so the machine will take care of the rest. All you got to do is push. You want to make sure with all the extra weight training exercise you don't hold your breath, that you just breathe normally as you can. Next, Sharon is going to move into an incline position. So first she's going to raise the handle up a little bit to get it out of the way. And then she's going to lift on the bench and then grab the handle down below. But basically, if you're going to go up, you can just lift the bench and it will go up to the next position and lock in place. So either way you want to do this is fine. And so the incline has 3 or 4 different incline positions, so you can find the one that works for you, or just use different ones each time you come in if you want to use that piece of equipment. So again, slide the bench back a little bit, make sure it's even from left to right. And then lay back on the bench, and again you're going to grasp the handle on the right hand side, release it to bring the bar down to the proper starting position. And you don't have to come all the way down if you don't want to. You can just come down most of the way, you can come down partial way. A lot of it depends upon how your shoulders are feeling that day, but the general rule of thumb is to bring the bar down to about chest height. And so then you have a very relaxed way to do an incline press, which works the upper chest a little bit more. Okay, next Sharon's going to adjust the bench all the way up to the vertical, so do a shoulder press. So she's going to move the bar up all the way, and then grab the back of the bench again and the handle and pull it all the way up. And once it's all the way up into the vertical position, it will lock. So then just make sure it's sturdy and secure, and then you're going to push the bench all the way back until the bench hits the base of the machine. And then again, make sure it's left to right as equal as possible, and then sit down. And again, grab the little handle, release it, and bring the bar down to almost touches your shoulder. And that's typically the starting spot. And it's a great way to do a shoulder press. Works your deltoids, your traps, and your triceps. And it's great for your low back because you don't have to strain your low back. You're very comfortable. Now she's going to go into the decline position. So this is all the way down. And so it also has these little leg supports or ankle supports there that you pull that out. You sit on the bench and again get it adjusted properly. And then place your shins up against those pads, and then that prevents you from sliding down the bench. And again, you want to start in with the bar pretty close to the mid-chest height, and the decline position will be your strongest position because you have the most leverage. And as you go to a flat bench, you lose a little bit of leverage, and you go to incline, you lose even more leverage, and you go to a shoulder press, you've lost the most leverage for that machine. Okay, next we want to show the squat attachment, so raise the bar all the way up. And there's 2 pads, there's a left and right, so make sure you have the correct one on the correct side. Very cushy pad, so your shoulders will not take a beating at all. And there's a steel rod that goes right up through that little opening there, that tube, and then it goes all the way up, and then the handle or the thing rotates down and snaps on. Make sure it's on there secure, so wiggle it a little bit like she's doing, just to make sure that it's secure. And there's one for the right side as well. So then you can adjust the depth you're going to go by grasping the handle when looking at it on the left-hand side, and then getting your shoulders there, get your feet about hip width apart. And when you squat down, you want to make sure your knees stay right in line with your toes. You want to push your bottom back as you squat to work on the glutes. But you can have whatever height you want, and the challenging part is the lower you go, the harder that first one is to get up, and then you're ready to go after that. And with this, you can also do a calf raise with a little thing on the floor that you can slide back into the machine and stand on that. And very comfortable. To release, just push the lever forward, rotate the pad down. It slides right off, and you're ready to go. So the next is the lat pull down, tricep push downs, butterfly, and low pulley. So this is the last of the 4 stations. And so with the lat pull downs, you can do it with your back facing the pad, which is the most common way. So you just grasp the handle, sit down, very comfortable, and typically you're going to, as you pull down, it's going to go to the back of your head or the back of your neck, and so you have to tilt your chin down. So you can do it to the front of the chin here. It's just not quite as comfortable as this. So that's one way to do it. The second way is to adjust the knee pads, and you'll see Sharon do that in a second. And so those are to keep your underneath your thighs. So if you're using a very heavy weight, it'll keep you down on the machine so you can work on your strength. And so again, this time you're going to pull mostly to your chin. If you want to pull a little lower, that's fine. So this is the lat pull down. You'll be a little bit stronger going to the front than you are to the back. Next is the tricep push down. So you're going to stand up, you're going to grab those little pads right close into where the pulley hook's on. You want to keep your elbows tight into your rib cage. And so this will isolate the back of the arm, the triceps even better. You'll see a lot of people do this a lot of different ways, but the most effective way to do this is keep the elbows in close and just move the lower arm up and down for the triceps. The butterfly, the pads come out, they'll come all the way out. That's a good place to start. You'll place your elbow at about a 90-degree bend, you have your hands and your forearm relaxed, and then you just squeeze the pads together in front of you. So those arms are adjustable 7 different positions going back. So depending upon your range of motion, your shoulders, if you want to work on the range of motion of your shoulders, you can move those slowly back and increase the range of the motion of your shoulders. So a great way to do an exercise for the chest. The low pulley is the last station we're going to look at down here. And so there's a bar that goes on that as well as an ankle strap. And so if you want to do some things for your hips and legs, you can do that. Otherwise, the bar attaches on there. You can do arm curls, you can do upright rows, you can do a seated row with a little thing that slides into that where your heels go against that. So that's the weight machine, the Vectra.